So Prynce Mini is an artist that I covered in my Free Yourself from Suffering series in part 1. I do really like him as an artist. He's got so many different styles he can tap into, kind of skippy grime flows. You can also do dancehall melodies. You can also just flat out sing and offer some very interesting R&B style tunes. He produces as well, so he offers a very interesting sound and is very focused on how things can sound sonically and interesting song concepts. And this album really does exemplify that. Prynce Mini, Inside Out. Prynce Mini is another DIY artist that kind of mixes, masters, produces all the rest of it all in one. And he's got so many different styles. He's got really aggressive trap flows. Also can kind of do a skippy thing on grime stuff. He could do the whole melodic rapping thing. He can also do kind of a lot of dancehall orientated stuff as well, probably because of his heritage as a Caribbean, as well as being from South London, which has a lot of Caribbean culture surrounding it, which is probably why you find it in a lot of his music. So he's just so much that the man is capable of. But on this particular album, he teams up with another producer known as Shax Major, who I have heard previous stuff in terms of a couple grime refixes he's done previously, but I do like his stuff overall. I got into Prynce Mini after hearing the song Black Socks, which I found on SBTV a long time ago. It was more of a grime thing, but kind of how aggressive and coarse his voice is, and I really love the way he uses his voice in all sorts of different ways. But he has diversified in so many different sounds and styles since then, and it just shows so much growth on his part. And he focuses a lot on sound and quality of sound and how good things can sound sonically, and it really does show on this tape. Before I get into this review, like and subscribe if you like any of the stuff I do on this channel. If this review isn't quite for you, check out this playlist of all the other reviews I've done on this channel. So to move on to the EP itself, Inside Out is actually split into two halves. You got 3 songs and then an interlude and then another 3 songs off the back of it. And I think he splits it into 2 halves because of kind of the theme and also the album art, which is basically him holding his heart outside of his chest, which is basically the idea he kind of wants to show his kind of inner inflections, which is what gets a bit more softer, and that's more melodic rapping stuff, and his outer inflections, kind of how is his outward self and how he behaves in his actions to be more aggressive, how he tries to kind of conquer the world, if that makes sense, and that sort of a thing. And I do feel like he separates the two of them pretty well. Bring It Back is the song that he opens with, and I feel like this song very much exemplifies everything that he is capable of in one song, and it's great. The whole melodic rapping thing and holding notes really well with his vocal range was coming with these tight, intricate flows. Check, he's got that covered. Lyrics and bars and punchlines that kind of pick out in terms of wordplay, saying, oh yeah, he did something really clever here, or kind of them ones where it's like, yeah, I have to wheel it. Yep, he's got those too. A lot of listeners and fans kind of complain about a lack of energy on tracks, but yeah, again, that's not a problem that Prynce Mini has. That kind of aggressive flow and voice, he uses it so well, and there's just so much energy throughout all of these tracks that it just really keeps you bopping, or it brings whatever vibe he's trying to bring across really well. And on this tune, he does it really well again. Good songwriting, he's got that covered too. The hook on this track is great. I mean, it really does show everything that he can do, not necessarily stylistically, but in terms of his foundation as an artist, all in one song. The melody that Shax comes up here with is really cool. The kind of fuzzy lo-fi vibes on the melody are really nice, but he contrasts it with kind of upping the BPMs, adding a harder hitting bass line, and it really does help Prynce Mini give off that really punchy vibe with his aggressive flow as well, and it all matches up really nicely. What's the Mission has a great song concept. It's kind of more how he motivates himself in life, how he tackles your day to day. And I feel like it motivates you as well in terms of the impact it has on you. I feel like this is one of those songs where, especially with how the hook is, it really does hone in on that song concept. But it's one of those motivational ones. It's ones that you put this song on in the morning to really kind of start your day and be like, yeah, this is what I'm on today. I'm trying to conquer the world. This is what I'm trying to get done today. And I feel like the lyrics across the entire song is built around this concept really well. And it really gets you feeling good.
What's the mission today? Winning today. Collect the digit today. Mash work, then dinner we pay. Tell chef we want dish of the day. That's fresh, expensive fish on my plate. I'm gonna kill it today. No, I can't fuck up my rhythm today.
That kind of really aggro staccato flow that comes in here, it really suits the track as well. And the hook is really well executed in terms of his delivery as well. Go Harder has a similar song concept to What's the Mission, but in terms of the sound that he's going for, the flows he brings on this, and his delivery of them is completely different. I do feel like he comes with a lot more skippy flows here, a bit more of a grime sort of thing in terms of flows, but I like it. It's very similar to Black Socks in terms of the flows, and that's what kind of drew me into Prynce Mini in the first place. This one, as well as the interlude, was produced by Prynce Mini, and I feel like he does well to make the instrumental complement him and his flows. I feel like the punchlines as well and the overall lyricism, it's stronger on this one, and it's more of the focus on this track. And I feel like the rhyming schemes are pretty nutty as well, and they're quite creative in the same way. To the point where when a lot of listeners feel like they get bored with the same rhyming schemes and the same ways of delivering lines and punchlines, you don't really get that problem with this song. Love and Hate serves as the interlude to this song, and it's basically more of a dancehall thing. It's like if, you know how you've got like Meek Mill's intros onto like Dreams and Nightmares? It's got that sort of feel to the instrumental that Prynce Mini's made, but it's really on a dancehall vibe in terms of the flow and the kind of melodic rapping. It feels very alkaline, Tommy Lee Sparta sort of thing, and I really do like how it comes together, and I do like the actual, what he's saying and the actual content of it as well. I feel like it capitalizes on some good songwriting as well, the kind of crescendo and the build-up of energies. He does that really well with the instrumental as well as his flows. It gets more and more intense until you get kind of like the peak where it's like really, the hype is really much built and it's got quite an uplifting vibe. If anything, I really wanted this interlude to be longer, but it is an interlude, so fair enough. So after the interlude, we have more 3 songs that are a bit more softer and a bit more low-key in terms of tone of the songs. They're a bit more on the kind of darker Party Next Door R&B vibe, but the songs are just, I feel like the melodies were a bit more aggressive, as well as the dark and broody stuff that you're kind of used to with Party Next Door. It takes that and adds a different dimension to it, which I find really nice. Mirror Mirror is a really nice song concept. It's very self-reflective and kind of looking on the idea that sometimes your greatest enemy can be yourself. And I feel like the hook really drills the idea home, with the hook being mirror, mirror on the wall, show me my greatest enemy, why do I see me? And I feel like the way he delivers it in terms of the flow as well, it's really unorthodox, and it's like you're kind of coming to the realization in a way, the way he kind of staggers the last word out to fill the bar. I really like how that line's delivered.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's my biggest enemy? Why do I see me? Mirror, mirror on the wall, show me my biggest enemy. Why do I see me?
Despite how coarse his voice can be, and it usually is used in an aggressive way, it can kind of bring a new dimension when he uses it in a kind of soft manner like he does in the first half of the song before the hook. And I feel like I do like the variety it brings to the Tide of Tape and what he's capable of as an artist vocally. Ain't Made Like This is a bit more of a kind of UK wave raps kind of thing. It's more in that wheelhouse in terms of the BPMs and the sounds that are kind of used, but it's not stale like a lot of other UK wave artists that you usually hear, because he kind of switches flows a lot, and in terms of vocal ranges he kind of dance around in terms of pitches that he hits. And I feel like because of his voice, he can hit that lower range a lot better, and he does function well as like a baritone, but he can actually flex between vocal styles and singing styles. So I really do like that about this song. I'm gonna go B here. I think I'm gonna go B, solid B. I feel like I like the concept of the entire thing. I like how individual his sound is, and teaming up with Shax Major to give you some interesting stuff sonically is really cool. I feel like his lyrics is very good, especially when he revolves around a song concept, but sometimes when he just wants to kind of baffle you with some interesting punchlines and wordplay and rhyming schemes, he can also do that as well. I feel like I do like the variety in sounds on this thing as well. He kind of goes with some kind of more trappy type beats, a bit more heavy on the bass lines, but he can also do kind of darker inflections of R&B, but he can also kind of do the kind of UK wave rap type of thing, but adding his own twist on the sound and varying the flows to keep you interested. I feel like there's just a lot to really grasp on such a short EP that it's definitely worth a look in. It's more than worth a look in. I feel like he could be one of your new favourite artists for this year. I kind of gave it a B. I didn't want to go into the B+, because I just felt like, look into my eyes, I feel like the vocal ranges there aren't as great in terms of melodies he picked. I don't think they're as complementary to his style as much as I would like, and that song just didn't really hit for me. So thank you for making it to the end of the review. Like and subscribe if you like any of the other stuff that I do on the channel. This is one of the artists that I featured on my Free Yourselves from Suffering list, that I kind of talked through artists that I feel like are outside of the mainstream realm that you're used to getting your music from, and finding artists that are really talented outside of that. So part 2 of that is coming soon. I am just going to be continuing on with that list and getting another 10 names and doing that for a video. If you like any of the stuff I do on this channel, yet again, like and subscribe. See you in the next video. Peace out.